Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video. In today's video, we're diving into the Super Boss 15-star event with some pretty big damage teams that utilize batch characters, big-time rushes, big-time super tandems, all of that fun stuff. Utilizing the new support rare recruit and the giants for this particular Kazuna, as well as the Super Sugos from the Part 1 Egghead ending Super Sugo Fest. Well, that was a mouthful. But in today's video, yeah, I'm gonna showcase the teams that we've been using to sort of do as much damage as possible. Obviously, this is a very competitive event. We do like to aim for top 10 every time these events are on. So releasing these teams early, look, I do know pisses a few people off, but look, just be understanding that one, a lot of different people go into building these teams. This is not just me putting these teams together. So I do need to respect the wishes of other people who also feel the same way about these competitive events. On top of that, like, these teams use like such big damage and big time invested units that the people that have these units, look, you should be at a particular point where you can sort of figure out and sort of build this type of stuff yourself and don't really need the help like a lot of other people do. Like, you should still be hitting fairly good numbers anyway. But like I said, I understand the gripes down below, but just be mindful of that. Huge shout out to my boy Itachi for tweaking the Cybase team. He basically took my original idea, made it better, and then we tweaked it from there. Like I said, it's just a conjoined effort from the Alliance. So like I said, hopefully you guys understand, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you do, but like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's dive in. Alright, so I'm going to start it off with the Strength Super Boss fight. This one, honestly, kind of builds itself, provided you have the pieces to the puzzle. Who would have known that having Frankie was literally more valuable than owning the new Luffy at this particular point, which is kind of crazy. An end of month batch legend just being this damn strong. And obviously, when we saw the release of Frankie come out and Boa, we kind of got the hints that we were getting more quick powerhouse support. Once Luffy obviously dropped his ability to give super swap charges with his EX, just told us that there was going to be more coming when it comes to the quick powerhouse team. And that's when the Giants released, Wiping and Ace obviously getting a glow up, and the resurgence of Memories of the Straw Hat Jinbei is just absolutely fantastic on this particular team, because he works for Luffy, he works for Boa, I believe, as well, and he also works for Wiping and Ace, which is absolutely hilarious. But as you can see, on turn 2, we get binded and stunned. There's also damage reduction, which Jinbei takes care of. Jinbei has that really good sailor ability that gives him 10 turns of cooldowns when you're captain, as long as it's powerhouse, quick, or Free Spirit. Whenever they use a special, you get 10 turns of cooldown there. We have the new Omae support to take care of the bind and the stun, and as you can see there, we can actually take down this stage literally just by using the Jinbei special and a couple of switches. I am using a level 12 Rocket Man as well, just be mindful of that. The ship is level 12 for this particular team. It took me a fuckload of cola, so hopefully if you guys are trying to max out this ship, it doesn't take you nearly as much, or any of your ships really, because the ship gacha is by far the worst part of this game. This game definitely has some problems. On the final stage, there is immunity to everything set weaken and defense up. There's damage reduction, damage nullification, 4 turns of only using a bunch of turns of just using 4 specials, paralysis, bind, territory, barrier. Like, it's got the whole kit and caboodle here. But as you can see, we have the super swap ready of Whitebeard and Ace, thanks to the Oimo support, but we can still get that ready to go with the EX of Luffy. We have super types of and super EXs of Whitebeard, Ace, Luffy, and Boa. This is going to allow us to get an increase to our conditional buffs. We're going to get base stats and the tap timing bonus. Like, perfects are, I believe, a 0.7 with powerhouse characters, which is quite nice. Then you go into the dual form of Whitebeard and Ace, and after you use the Luffy special, hitting your excellence, of course, so that way you get all the extra buffs, you get the 5-time tap timing bonus, which allows Whitebeard and Ace to be an attack booster and a chain booster as well. When you use their special, you're actually going to get the increase to the orbs that Luffy provides and the attack boost as well with Luffy's captain ability, obviously with that excellent, making it very, very strong. Boa's going to remove the bind on the bottom row. She gives us the double stack and conditional buff, which she buffs as well, thanks to her super type. Frankie's going to be our other conditional booster. He also removes the paralysis. With the Brook support, we can set the defense to 0, and we get the 1 turn of cooldown on Frankie, which is just enough to get the Giants to get the cooldown back for Frankie, so he gets his pseudo double special, which can now remove the damage nullification and apply set target. Plus, it activates his super type because of the super swap of Giants, allowing us to get HP guard and a massive 80% HP reduction. This allows Frankie to just give us 5 turns of ship cooldown, and then when you use the Jinbei special once again, because we got all the cooldown from our captain and from the Giants, we get the pseudo double special of the Rocket Man to increase the color affinity that it gave us at the start of the quest. With Luffy's EX, we have the class advantageous typing for powerhouse characters. We have a level 5 rush with this particular team too. We move into a super tandem of Luffy. I believe the super tandem, honestly, for this run, I can't exactly remember what it was, but I don't have a max Luffy for this team. So if you have like a full-on max Luffy where it's level 5 and level 5, like this team, and say, for example, you have level 5 super tandem boost of Boa, and then you have a level 5 final type of Frankie, this team has the potential to do 30 trillion damage after the damage cap nerf. As you can see there, the final tap of Frankie was hitting for 104 trillion damage. That is a level 1 final tap Frankie. If that Frankie was higher, then you'd be seeing like much more damage, which is just absolutely wild. On top of that, like Frankie's not 150, Boa's not 150, Giants aren't 150, Friend Captain Luffy's not 150, so then the supports aren't 150, so the way the new damage cap scaling works, this team has so much more damage in it than you guys see right there. But the fact that we're hitting 10 trillion damage is just, it's absolutely wild. All right, so now moving on to the side variation. This one is the spicy one. Like this team, honestly, like I'm so impressed with this team. It everything synergizes so damn well. Now I initially had this idea to run Luffy, Zoro, Sanji as my friend captain, and then have Int Luffy as a captain, as a sailor, rather than having him as the friend captain. But then when like the quest went on and we realized we didn't have super types, we kind of reverted back to sort of moving Luffy to our friend captain. But shout out to my boy Itachi once again, like #1 team builder in the alliance. He put together this particular comp because he saw my initial stuff and he was like, hey, what if we use this and we just sort of replace Nami and we replace Odin, Kingdom 1 Dendro, seeing as they don't really work, and we have sort of the Omae support and we're doing some fun stuff there. And then from there we tweaked it because we weren't using Oimo, we were using Mihawk with a tandem orb anyway, so we took that off and then we tweaked it to what is this particular team, and it works so damn nicely. So as you can see, we just passed turn 1. Zoro's not actually getting cooldowns on this particular fight. However, with the captain of Roger, Religion, and Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, he's getting 4 turns of cooldown from the captains, and then you have the ship, sockets, like just like passing time and passing turns. Shanks just allows you to get cooldown, and it all works out pretty hunky-dory. As you can see, we used the EX of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji to take care of stage 2, as well as a bunch of supports to deal with paralysis, and a level 12 whale shark ship to get that extra paralysis turn over the line. Once we move into the final stage, we are hit with bind, attack down with certain below a certain chain, which I believe is 2.5, chain growth reduction, and a whole bunch of nasty stuff there. But we can use the EX of Roger Raleigh Gaban to turn Luffy, the Int Luffy, into a slasher, and then we can use the special of our Luffy, Zoro, Sanji friend captain, which this is level 150, by the way. The only 2 characters that aren't 150 on this team is Roger Gawan and Mihawk. We use the Luffy, Zoro, Sanji special to remove the Despair, and then get an attack boost and an orb boost. Now, the upside to getting rid of the Despair, it allows all of our other abilities to now proc, because of the captain ability of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, allows you to override attack and orb boosts. So when you use the Int Luffy special, you actually get an overriding attack boost. So you get his attack boost and you get the base stats, because you're actually triggering the fact that, hey, we have an attack boost live as well. Roger Raleigh Gawan are giving color affinity, which doesn't actually trigger the interrupt, same with the base stats. So I don't know what the game was thinking there with the information, but like that doesn't actually trigger. But they also give us the advantageous typing for slashes as well, and an int territory, which is absolutely massive. Luffy again gives us that attack boost and the base stats, and then we have verse Shanks to do double conditional boosting, give us a slasher territory, and he's just like a beast. I'm actually really good at the excellent of Shanks. The big downside to this particular team is the fact you have to do 4 action specials, which you guys know me, action specials suck. I hate actually doing them, but the amount of damage increase you get by hitting excellence is just absolutely exceptional. The big one you really want to do is Luffy, which is a lot easier than the other 3 because of the fact you don't have to swipe, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's something you definitely want to do. Zoro gives us that extra conditional boost against increased damage taken, and then Mihawk gives us the tap timing bonus, increased damage taken, and then applies a tandem orb to himself and a massive heal. As you can see here, we are using the Super Tandem of Zoro. This is going to trigger the Super Tandem boost for level 7 Mythical Zoans for Luffy with our Rush. We're rushing with him last, and then we also get a level 5 boost for Shanks, who is a 4 Emperor, which works out really, really nicely. The thing here, though, is you need to make sure you hit a good or a great on your Mihawk, so that way you can actually hang on to that Tandem Orb to do a second turn burst. And with a 1.2 times Alliance boost, which is pretty easy to do, it's like 4 Alliance members to jump into the quest, you actually, with investments, can get the full 7 rush taps with Luffy twice. So 49 trillion damage on that first turn, hitting for 5 trillion damage. And because we use the Otama support to lock our orbs, and we didn't hit a perfect with Zoro, with Mihawk, we actually get the Super Tandem a second time, and we still have enough HP thanks to the Mihawk Super Class with that massive, massive heal to allow us to get the rush taps off a second time around. And with that, we do another 20 trillion damage, going down to around 3.4 with obviously 150 units. And then when you combine both of those two burst turns together, this is a 1.2 times, by the way, so it's a little bit lower. Like if you hit your excellence, it's close to 7 with no alliance boost. But the fact that we can still hit 8 trillion damage, and this was absolutely exceptional. So huge shout out to my alliance, shout out to Itachi, shout out to all the boys, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, I do know it pisses a lot of people off that we do this video so late, but I hope you guys understand down below. But most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.